And Republicans had essentially the same reaction today when the president proposed closing the Guantanamo Bay prison for terror suspects by the end of this year. Guantanamo opened in 2002 on the U.S. naval base in Cuba, which allowed prisoners from Afghanistan and elsewhere to be held without charges or trials. 779 prisoners have been held there, but today 91 remain. Margaret Brennan is at the White House.
The politics of this are tough.
Tough politics because the president's proposal involves bringing nearly 60 Guantanamo prisoners to the United States.
We're already holding a bunch of really dangerous terrorists here in the United States because we threw the book at them. And there have been no incidents.
Of the 91 prisoners remaining at Guantanamo, 35 would be transferred to other countries, 46 held in the U.S. under military guard, and at least 10 would face trial in criminal or military courts. That includes so-called 9/11 mastermind Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, who has never been convicted during his 13 years in U.S. custody. Pentagon officials have looked at more than 13 locations in the U.S. for housing the prisoners, including the naval brig in South Carolina, a supermax prison in Colorado, and the military prison in Leavenworth, Kansas. But in 2011, Congress made it illegal to transfer Guantanamo inmates to the U.S., and Republicans in Congress are almost universally opposed to changing that law. Kansas Senator Pat Roberts made his opinion clear today.
This is what I think of the president's plan to send terrorists to the United States.
So did Colorado Republican Congressman Mike Kaufman.
He knows that, in fact, the will of Congress is not going to change, that we are not going to amend existing law that would, in fact, allow these detainees to come to U.S. soil.
President Obama said that closing Guantanamo will save taxpayers tens of millions of dollars. And Scott, the White House today would not rule out taking executive action to shutter the prison if Congress does not act.
Margaret, thanks. Now, Margaret just mentioned Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, who's charged with planning 9/11. He was captured by U.S. forces in Pakistan in 2003, and for the most part, he's been at Guantanamo Bay since. His case is in a military court there. Lawyers have filed more than 200 motions, many of them claiming abuse and torture. And after more than a dozen rounds of pretrial hearings, his trial is still likely years away.